Changing gears, Mr. Husak, when you think about Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and the central role they played in the financial crisis, do you ever ask yourself if only they'd listened? And I say that because, as you wrote in the pages of the Wall Street Journal in 2004, federally chartered but privately owned Fannie Mae, with $1 trillion in assets, is not the riskless public service entity it represents itself to be. And while you and I and the Federal Reserve Chairman Greenspan and others cried loudly at that time of systemic risk regulation, I had a bill to regulate systemic risk there, and called for higher capital, less leveraging, it was 100-to-1 leveraging, and scaled back GSEs. Sadly, those warnings fell on deaf ears here on Capitol Hill. And I don't say this to rehash history, although I think amnesia, as my colleague from New York mentioned earlier, is suffered on a bipartisan basis, but rather I hope that we might learn from the past. And specifically, I was hoping that you could comment briefly on the role the affordable housing goals had in the collapse of the GSEs and the potential impact of reopening the credit spigot with FHFA this year, calling for the Housing Trust Fund to be capitalized by Fannie and Freddie. Is there not a better way to accomplish the goals of homeownership within a market-based system than replaying this particular angle?
Thank you, Congressman Royce. I'm pleased that somebody dug out that 2004 article, and I'm flattered that you mention it for the record.
Oh, I've quoted you over the years on it, so thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. I worry about the affordable housing goals and worried about them at the time, not because I did not think homeownership is a valuable asset for communities. I worry that if lenders are encouraged to make loans to non-credit-worthy individuals, that their neighbors, their struggling neighbors who are making the payments on their own houses, are going to see their values collapse when foreclosure strikes in their neighborhood. And we've seen in the wake of the financial crisis that's exactly what happened, and that poor and working class neighborhoods were the most adversely affected by the affordable housing goals that have always been advanced in their name. That's my concern. And so I think we'd be remiss in continuing those affordable housing goals and in directing more funds to similar purposes.
Thank you. And again, I thank these witnesses. And Mr. Chairman, thank you for this hearing.
Time of the gentleman has expired. The Chair now recognizes the gentlelady from Utah, Ms. Love.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for being here today. I'm actually encouraged by what I've been hearing.